Good morning, everyone. Back in the closet. You can see, back in my coat closet. Um, so I wanted to do a video today. I haven't done any for a while. Apologize ahead of time if my voice is a little cracky. I've been dealing with some health issues. So for starters, the most obvious one, my neck's a bit swollen. I've been having some thyroid issues. I have a goiter, a multinodular goiter, and I will be seeing a specialist May 2nd concerning that. They had thought they were going to remove my thyroid, but the issue is I don't tolerate medication very well. So thyroxine is a lifelong medication you have to take if they remove your thyroid. And really, I just have the one very large nodule here that's blocking my airway. And there's a new procedure called radiofrequency ablation, which would just put a probe into this and do radiofrequency and shrink this. And since that's really my only issue, we're hoping that I'll be accepted into that program and that will take care of that. But more serious, I've also been having some lung issues and some heart issues. And so it's been recommended that I step away from forensics for a while and take some time to figure out these health issues. So I have been very good about it. I've taken a job as a library assistant at a nearby school, but my heart is still with all of you who are dealing with domestic violence and family violence. So I wanted to make this video to talk about a couple of cases that I had to step away from because I think it warrants a video. So the nature of domestic violence is that the domestic violence abuser, and remember when we talk about domestic violence, we're talking about family violence. So these are situations where people are living with the person who is harming them or their children. And they do it in a very calculated way. These are not people who can't control themselves. These are people who control themselves very well in front of others, but just with certain family members, they strike out and they attack these people that they live with, who they're supposed to love. So this is very much of a choice that they're making. And there are organizations that help with this. One of them is called Emerge in Massachusetts. Their website is emergedv.com, and they offer virtual programs to help with this sort of lack of control and abuse of one's family. So I recommend if you are a perpetrator of this kind of violence or abuse and you want to change, you contact emergedv.com because they can help you learn about your patterns of behavior and make changes. So I want to talk about the element of this situation that has to do with these last two cases that I had to step away from because of my health. So in the first case, we have an elderly woman. She was living with her family member. This family member, initially they had a lot of disagreements about how to treat people and things like this. She had other people to live with, but she felt obligated to live with this particular person. And so she did so. And what happened over time is those disagreements developed into elder abuse. And when she finally reached out and got some help, and she was taken out of this home, it created a shockwave kind of throughout her family. And, of course, the typical thing with victims, some people didn't believe her. Some people did believe her and give support. But that abusive family member is relentless. They continue to interact with her, even though she's now living with somebody else. They continue to sort of plot and scheme to harm her. And the result has not been good for this lady and her family members who have been trying to help her. So that's one example. The other example is a case with a young girl, and she has court-ordered time with the abuser, which is common. And the protective mother has tried to keep her safe during these visits, but there have been some physically violent incidents where the young girl was hurt, taken to the emergency room, and disclosed to several doctors. These doctors have gone to bat for the child, calling protective services. Protective services failed miserably to protect her, being intimidated by the abusive father. And so once again, we see this person reaching out for help, and we see that the abuser is absolutely relentless. He has taken the mom to court over and over and over again to try to take custody from her. And this little girl is stuck in the middle, just as the elderly person is stuck in the middle. So the reason I wanted to talk about these cases, I wanted to point out how very relentless abusive parties are. And they're relentless for a couple of reasons. First of all, they want to regain power in these situations. These are people who hunger desperately for power. They want to control their victim. When they lose control over their victim, they're angry, they are spiteful, they are conniving and manipulative, and they will do anything to try to get that victim back under their thumb and under their control for very nefarious reasons. So, here's the thing. The people fighting on the other side to protect the victim, it is a very difficult task. You are going to be exhausted. You are going to feel worn down. You are going to want to give up. But here's my message to you. Please don't give up. I'm here. I'm still fighting. I'm still thinking about all of you, praying for you. And I believe that you are on the side of right. And there definitely is a right and wrong side in this fight. Some people say, oh, we just need to work on this or that, or, we can go to mediation. We can, it's not the case. People who are abusive are mentally ill. In a way, they may never recover from their urges to control and harm other people. And so victims in this world count on those who will stay in the fight and will continue to believe them and will continue to offer them respite from that abusive person and safety from that abusive person. And I've been that person. I've been the protective mother. Here's what I can tell you. Fast forward to a time when my kids are adults. They're healthy and they're safe because I didn't give up. I kept going until everybody was over 18 and they could protect themselves and make decisions for themselves about whether they wanted to be with their father or not. They do have a relationship with him. They make their choices. They do seem to do a very good job protecting themselves when they're fully aware of who he is as a person because they see it firsthand. So please, protective parents, protective individuals who are watching over victims, please know that you are not alone, and God sees what you're doing. God sees that you are trying to protect the innocent, and I believe he honors that. The scripture talks to us about the purest form of religion, being one in which we protect the vulnerable, the widows, the orphans. This is a very similar situation. These people need protection. They are very vulnerable. So, my words to you, I just want you to know that even though those abusive parties are relentless and it feels like they're never going to quit. And it feels like they're always going to be trying to get that victim back under their thumb to harm them, to hurt them. I want you to know that you, as a protective person, are creating issues for them. You're making it more difficult for them to hurt that victim. You are creating distractions and diversions, and that's a good thing. You might be the reason that person survives. You might be that reason that person who's a victim doesn't give up. So please, friends, hang in there. If you need encouragement, reach out. I'm happy to talk with you via message. Probably shouldn't do phone calls. It gets me a little bit too worked up. And here's the thing. If I'm not careful and I have heart issues, I won't be here to help any of you anymore. So I have to be careful. But I love you all, and please know that I'm still praying for you.